Today we're going to be looking at the figure 8 loop knot. In particular, we're going to be looking at how to tie the figure 8 retraced, or the retraced figure 8 loop knot as well. So the figure 8 loop knot is the knot that most climbers are going to tend to go to, because this is the most secure fixed loop knot that there is. It simply does not come undone. It doesn't loosen, and it's easy to identify whether or not it's been tied correctly. Two downsides to the figure 8 loop knot. First is, under shock load or under immense pressure, this knot can become so tight that you'll likely have to cut it off if you put too much load on it, because it's just too hard to get it undone. The second downside to this one is that it is not easily wrapped or tied to a fixed object where you don't have access to the ends. If you're tying into something like a carabiner, it's no big deal. You just form your loop, you clip into the carabiner, you're good to go. But when you have an object that you don't have access to the ends and tying around it, then you have to do what's called the retraced figure 8, which I'm going to show you as well. So the first thing we'll show you is the figure 8, the standard figure 8, and we're just going to use a bight in the rope. So this is another benefit that I kind of glossed over, is the fact that the figure 8 can be tied anywhere on a line. So you can tie it near the end of a line, or you can tie it in the middle of a line. All you have to have is a bight in the rope. Then what you want to do is you want to come across, and we're going to loop around the back side of our standing end, and then just send the loop right back up through this hole, and then double check to make sure that the line lays in nice and parallel, everything is correct, and you have formed the figure 8 loop. In fact, I got this one twisted just a little bit, so it was laying not quite perfect. So there we go. This is the figure 8 loop knot. So let me show you how to tie the retraced figure 8 loop knot now. Okay, so now we're going to tie the retraced figure 8. And to do this, we're going to start off near the end of the line, and I'm going to tie a quick loose figure 8 on my line here, about 18, 20 inches down the rope, something like that. We're just going to tie a loose figure 8. Now we can take our line and we can go around our fixed object, and much like the name implies, we're just going to retrace our steps here. So we're going to go back through, kind of tighten this up, we'll go around, over, and back through, and just retrace all the way back out to the standing end of the rope. And again, we want to make sure that we get everything laid in there correctly, so that everything lays in nice and parallel, dress our knot out. And there we have the retraced figure 8. So this is not incredibly difficult to tie up as the retraced, and it's definitely the strongest of the fixed loop knots. The reason that I don't use it very often is because of the fact that it can be difficult to untie when you put a lot of load on it. There's a lot of good fixed loop knots out there that work really well, and they are easier to untie than the figure 8 or the retraced figure 8 loop knot. But this is definitely the most secure, at least the most secure that I know of. While there are other good fixed loop knots, you're probably not going to find one that is safer than this particular knot. So this is the figure 8 loop and the retraced figure 8 loop.